There are some things in life that everyone does, even if we'd rather not admit to it. The worst of all being anything related to bodily functions. Today I will be giving you the scoop on the top 10 times that celebrities farted on live TV. And personally, I love this kind of stuff because I think we all love to get little reminders like this that celebrities are in fact just real people like you and me. Now starting off with number 10, Tiger Woods. Here's one that you might not have heard about, involving golf superstar Tiger Woods. During one of his golf competitions while waiting for his golf opponent Graham McDowell to tee off, Tiger Woods created a slight disruption after he broke some wind. It honestly sounds like a stroke of genius to me. What better way to mess with your opponents than to catch them off guard with a loud fart before their golf swing? After the moment in question, Tiger can be seen trying not to laugh his ass off, and we can't really blame him as that's anyone's natural reaction to an unexpected toot. Next at number 9, Cheryl Cole. While Cheryl Cole was a judge on The X Factor, there was a moment in the show while commenting on Cher Lloyd's performance where she briefly pauses, and you can hear that the deed has been done. You're sometimes protect. So she's the first person on this list to be named a serial tutor, the next one coming up soon. Cheryl said in an interview with The Sun that she has major anxiety around the subject now, as whenever someone around her farts, they think it must be her. She said, quote, "I always look around and try to work out who it was and I see the eyes staring back at me. I know they're thinking Cheryl Cole thinks it's okay to fart on a plane as she's special." And it's so not true. This issue haunts her so much that she actually started to dream up a new product that could prove to everyone that she isn't the one tooting all the time. She continued on in the interview with The Sun, quote, "There should be a sort of aerosol that can be sprayed into the air that would pinpoint the guilty person." Honestly, I would definitely be here for that because there's been more than a few times in my life where I want to know who cut the cheese. Coming in at number 8, Regis Philbin. Regis Philbin is best known for hosting Live with Regis and Kelly and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but he is also known for having one of the most talked about farts on live TV of any celebrity. On one episode of Live with Regis and Kelly, the two are seen talking while Regis rips a quick one. Anyway. Kelly tries not to react but ends up laughing anyway. It's live TV, people, so I'm sure they're used to some things slipping out that they'd rather not have. In at number 7, Hillary Clinton. This celeb fart is another one up for debate. A lot of people think that Hillary Clinton passed some gas during the 2007 Democratic debate, while others think it just might have been some fuzziness with the sound or editing.
Controversial issues.
Either way, it's hilarious, come on. People have also speculated whether the video proof of the fart is real or not. And since Hillary is such a controversial figure, it would not be shocking that someone would try to pin a fart on her. In the video, Hillary is gearing up to answer a serious question, then all of a sudden you hear a slight fart and an uncomfortable look on her and some of the other panelists' faces. So I don't know, I'll leave this one up to you guys to review the evidence for yourselves. In at number 6, Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams is best known for being a wildly entertaining talk show host that is always spilling tea on her show. But one time, she got caught accidentally spilling something else. On one episode of her show, she is seen talking about Odell Beckham Jr., but then she starts sitting strangely, then all of a sudden stops talking so that everyone can hear a long and slow toot. But the story did not end there. After the story blew up on social media, Wendy came out trying to convince everyone that it was actually not a fart. She followed up about the situation on her show saying she only leaned over like that because it's comfortable, not because she was farting. She then continued saying that she has never farted even once on the show, and even went so far to blame the guest who was on the show that day, who was a chemist. And she legit made him film a segment to try and prove he was the one that did it. They claim that the chemist was messing up pipes and equipment backstage, and that's where the noise came from. Honestly, the fact that they were trying to cover it up so hard just proves to me that she 100% dealt it. Now halfway through at number 5, Megyn Kelly. During her time on Fox News, Megyn Kelly was a victim to the on-air machine when she loudly farted on live TV during her segment.
Your spouse isn't gonna want to do that.
She basically owned up to the fart instead of trying to pass it off, as right after it happened, she started laughing uncontrollably, and then farted again while still laughing. At least she made light of it instead of trying to awkwardly pass it off like some other people on this list. In at number 4, Larry King. I'm not 100% sure that this one is actually a fart, but on his huge TV show Larry King Live, Larry was accused of farting while doing an interview. If you listen closely, he pauses and then you hear a little something.
See any optimism here?
But plenty of people in the comments of the video are saying that it was most likely just a wooden chair moving or something else non-bodily function related. I guess the world might never know the truth about this one. Next on to number 3, Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg is infamous for a few things, but most recently she's been the go-to person on The View for passing gas. The host has farted not once, not twice, but 3 recorded times on The View. Honestly, with that record, I wouldn't be surprised if it was more. But the noble thing about Whoopi is that she always owns up to it and makes light of the situation when it happens. Dr. Oz was even on the show talking about passing gas, and when he asked all the hosts who had farted in the short time he had been there, Whoopi excitedly raised her hand and yelled, "Me." Then she literally farted again. If you don't believe me, watch this. Yeah, go ahead. Well, at least if you're gonna be the person on The View known for farting, do with confidence like Whoopi. Now in at number 2, Julianne Hough. Julianne Hough has had not 1, but 2 different incidents of cutting the cheese on live TV. One was on Dancing with the Stars. During her post-performance interview with her partner, you hear a little toot, then Julianne and her partner bursting out laughing at the incident.
Log on to abc.com, do whatever you have to.
Which is a dead giveaway that it actually happened. The other incident happened when she was hosting America's Got Talent. During her commentary on the performer that was on stage, you can hear an audible fart.
Love you.
And then the other judges on the show laughing about what they think just happened. And finally taking the coveted number 1 spot, Taylor Swift. And last but not least, the country sweetheart herself, Miss Taylor Swift. In 2015, during an interview at the VMAs where she was surrounded by her model squad friends, Taylor was enthusiastically announcing the premiere of her Wildest Dreams music video when she kinda squatted out of excitement, and then the dirty deed was said to have taken place. There are a few things here that make us pretty darn sure that Taylor did indeed fart, as if you watch the video, the odd squat-like movement seems like something that someone would do if they were trying to cover something up. Also, the look on Karlie Kloss's face, who was standing directly behind her after the alleged toot, kinda speaks for itself. I gotta say that on the occasional weekend, I love to come home and pour myself 1, or maybe a few, glasses of some good old vino. But like anyone else, sometimes in life I've taken it too far, went out with friends, and have ended up sleeping on the bathroom floor, if you know what I mean. Well, it turns out I'm not alone in this, as plenty of celebrities have tested their drinking limits and have ended up embarrassing the hell out of themselves on live TV. Starting off with number 10 with one you should all know if you love sipping some good old tea, Kanye's Grammy incident.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
In one of the most famous unexpected outbursts of all time, Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift's acceptance speech at the MTV VMAs in 2009. While Taylor was on stage accepting her award for Best Female Music Video, Kanye famously yelled, "Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best music videos of all time." It's literally how he said it. Completely humiliating both himself and Swift in the process. Thankfully, he could blame the tirade on being wasted, or the world might have never forgiven him. Next at number 9, Ben Affleck. Now this one gets a little creepy. During a Ben Affleck interview in 2004 with Anne-Marie Laveau, where he was promoting his new movie Jersey Girl. On a side note, I love that movie. During the interview, Affleck was just straight up acting gross, commenting on the cleavage of the interviewer and asking why she covered up for him in this interview when her tits are usually out. They're also grossly cuddling on the couch while he continued to make some really nasty comments that honestly gave me secondhand embarrassment while watching. Many blamed his shameful behavior on him most likely being drunk. However, in 2017 the video resurfaced and Anne-Marie came out saying that the whole thing was staged and that people shouldn't feel bad for her as everything that happened was fully consented by her. Honestly, I'm not sure if I fully believe that, but either way I think Affleck would have had to have been drunk to agree to look that bad on TV. Next at number 8, Paula Abdul.
Listen, any publicity is good publicity. You gotta learn to eat it up and embrace it and say, Seattle had the best delusional people. Oh no!
During an interview with Q13 Fox to discuss the hit show American Idol, Paula Abdul was totally sloshed. In the interview she can be seen slurring her words, giggling at everything, shuffling around in her chair, and just all around not acting like the Paula we're used to seeing on American Idol. Next at number 7, Danny DeVito on The View.
No, I mean, you know, the guy who...
Before the interview, DeVito admitted that he was hungover AF as he was out drinking with George Clooney the night before. Subtle little plug there. He also said that he had 7 limoncellos before the interview, and that they were finally catching up to him. He then starts talking about President Bush and making some crazy facial expressions and noises to imitate him. Then when he literally looks like he's either gonna fall asleep or pass out, Rosie O'Donnell brings him over to cuddle. Honestly, Danny DeVito is the best. This interview made me love him even more. In at number 6, Bill Murray.
Hillary Clinton.
Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah.
Get to that now.
Okay.
While the actor was waiting for his turn on the show, he took a tumble and fell off a stool.
Bill Murray is known for being one of the most iconic comedians of all time, but you might not know he's also iconic for having one of the craziest drunk interviews of all time. In 2015, he appeared on David Letterman's TV show where he's seen taking multiple shots of vodka on air. That's not the story though. Where things get crazy is when Murray then decides to go to MSNBC during a live broadcast and interrupts Lawrence O'Donnell's segment. Then when he finally sits down to wait to go on the show, he completely falls off one of those high chair stool things onto the ground. Then during the interview, he slurs like crazy while trying to answer simple questions. This is definitely one you have to see. Halfway there at number 5, Mark Wahlberg drunk in the UK.
Wearing a tight top, you're covered in makeup. We disagree with all of that, but on you go.
Back in 2013, Mark Wahlberg was part of one of the funniest drunk interviews of all time. When the UK on the Graham Norton show, Mark dozes off, slurs his words almost the whole time, and gets very flirty with the other guest of the show, Sarah Silverman.
A couple of months ago I was at the gym, full face of makeup on, ready to do my
Why would
weights.
you wear makeup to the gym?
At one point he also goes over to Norton to sit on his lap and then proceeds to feel him up basically. It was the general consensus that Wahlberg had far too many drinks before the show, and it all hit him on air. Next at number 4, Steve-O. The jackass prankster and wild child Steve-O definitely lived up to his jackass reputation on Comedy Central's Too Late with Adam Carolla. Steve-O got so wasted backstage that he started yelling a bunch of swear words while also spitting and later into the segment attempting to rugby tackle the show's host Adam Carolla to the floor. Steve-O at one point also fell over and shattered a glass coffee table with his foot, slicing his leg open in the process. When Carolla tried to laugh off the craziness and try to rescue the show, it was proved that Steve-O could not be tamed, and in the end he had to be escorted out by security. After the insane interview, Steve-O said that he woke up and had no recollection of ever being on the show, but that he was insanely proud of himself for how funny it ended up being. I guess when slapstick humor is your specialty, this event could be considered something to be proud of. I'm not sure I think it is though. Next at number 3, Mariah Carey. I hope you guys remember the absolute train wreck that was Mariah Carey's performance at the 2016 New Year's Rockin' Eve Bash. But if you don't, we're here to give you a little reminder. Basically, she came out, missed tons of the dance moves, made it incredibly obvious she was lip syncing when the track was playing and she was literally just standing there. I bet plenty of network execs were definitely regretting not rehearsing after that mess. Then sliding on to number 2, TJ Miller. While TJ Miller, the funny man of Silicon Valley, was on Colbert for an interview, he made a complete ass of himself. During the insane interview, Miller smashes an egg on his face, much to Colbert's extreme annoyance, because he gets some of it on his jacket, and then finishes the segment by touching Colbert with his creepy, like, skeleton hands. Damn, Colbert has a lot more patience than I would have had.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Egg on my face, right? The old egg on the face bit. Thank you.
And lastly, taking the number 1 spot, Fergie. I'm giving Fergie the number 1 spot here, not because hers is the most popular, but honestly I just think it's the funniest. During the Trevor Live Gala, Armie Hammer was presenting an interview when Fergie randomly appeared on stage. Hammer, because he was so confused, ended up giving her the mic, probably because he was not sure what the heck was going on. Anyway, she ended up calling herself Armie Hammer and then calling him Fergie and slurring her words while trying to talk. But after she sat back down, she wasn't done yet. When another performer walked off stage because of technical issues, Fergie jumped out of her seat at the chance and got on stage, unscripted, entertaining the crowd once more. I guess they should have had to have extra security on Fergie. Don't let her get too drunk, man, she gets out of control.
When it comes to live television, the stakes are never higher. Everything is being done on the fly and they require sticking to an exact schedule to avoid any big slip-ups. However, sometimes things don't go as planned. Some of these celebrities have made a comeback since, but these live TV moments certainly didn't help their reputation. Coming in at number 10, Steve Harvey.
I have to apologize. The first runner-up is Colombia. Miss Universe 2015 is Philippines.
Back in 2015, many watched in awe as Steve Harvey made one of the greatest blunders in television history. Steve incorrectly announced that the winner of the Miss Universe contest was Colombia. As the celebration was happening and right as she was getting crowned though, you just see poor Steve Harvey tuck his tail between his legs and march back out to correct his mistake. It was definitely hard to watch, but man, you gotta commend Steve for owning up to his mistakes like that. Realizing that Miss Philippines was the actual winner, he came back out and corrected it without even blaming anyone for his mistake. Although he might have said something about the teleprompter being wrong. But before we hit our next point though, we need you guys to hit that like button because it really helps us out. And with that out of the way, let's keep going. Coming in at number 9, Pamela Anderson. I don't know if she was wasted or what, but right from the very beginning of this interview in 2006 with comedian John Rove McManus, it was a disaster. Upon her introduction, she came running out with more energy than that time that Tom Cruise jumped on Oprah's couch, which we might get to later. Pamela greeted the crowd with a hair flip and then proceeded to toss a handful of green candy into the crowd. Candy that she had plucked from a bowl on the table at the interview.
By the sounds of things.
Although the real nail in her coffin was the drama that led up to this bizarre interview with the former Baywatch star. According to John, the show runs live and Pamela was late, so he actually had to start the show before she was even in the building. When she finally did show up, she really seemed like she was doing everything to hurry up the process and get out of there. Multiple times he genuinely asked her if she was okay, but that only made things more awkward. Coming in at number 8, Mariah Carey. Look, Mariah Carey can definitely sing. There's no question about that. However, this does not make her immune from copping out time to time and lip syncing, you know, just for fun. Right off the top, during her 2017 New Year's Eve performance, you can tell that she's lip singing, but when the music transitions and she comes down to the main stage, the sound tech accidentally plays the wrong song. Whoops. I don't know if this was just an error or if someone was really trying to expose Mariah like that, but damn. My favorite part comes later on after she tells the crowd that they picked the wrong song, and as she's talking, like mid-sentence, you can hear her trademark whistle note in the background. It's just perfect live TV. I know Mariah Carey still obviously has a career, but I had to include it because apparently she got paid close to $3.5 million to lip sync her New Year's Eve performance. I guess you could say more than one ball was dropped that night. Coming in at number 9, Vanilla Ice. Way back in 1999, before Jon Stewart was the host of The Daily Show, he was hosting a program on the set of MTV called MTV's Lame 25. On the show, the host would typically make fun of different music videos that had already aired on MTV, and then they would destroy the tape. On one episode in particular, rapper Vanilla Ice came in at number 9 with his song Ice Ice Baby. The rapper was in the studio at the time of the criticisms and he was planned to take to the set with a baseball bat and break the tape for his own song as per MTV's request. However, things didn't go exactly as planned. The jokes and comments must have really started to bug Vanilla Ice because he didn't just break the tape. Vanilla Ice took that baseball bat to the entire set, smashing everything and scaring everyone in the process. Luckily, he was able to bounce back from this by reinventing himself as a DIY superstar on different home improvement networks, but I don't know if that's much better. I mean, how ironic though would it be for MTV to call up Vanilla Ice and have him rebuild their set that he destroyed? I think that'd be pretty great. We should do that. We should organize that. Who has to start a GoFundMe? Because Vanilla Ice is gonna need to get paid to do that. You're like, don't you mean a change.org? No, GoFundMe to get him to do this. Coming in at number 6, Jesse Eisenberg.
Do you know the comedian Carrot Top?
Yes, horrible.
Well, you were like the Carrot Top of interviewers.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing. It's
I'm
a good
gonna
thing.
go cry now.
No, don't cry now.
While promoting the film Now You See Me, Jesse Eisenberg just could not contain his utter disdain for this interview. Right out of the gate, he was on the defensive. The interviewer refers to Morgan Freeman simply as Freeman, for which Jesse then takes offense to for some reason. He then remarks that she's the Carrot Top of interviewing, which just insults the interviewer so bad that she hurries Jesse to complete a magic trick so that they can just wrap it all up. The entire interview is one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever witnessed, and we're only at number 6 on this list. Trust me though, if you haven't watched this full interview, you must. It is just such a terrible exchange back and forth between an actor and an interviewer, a true masterclass on what not to do. From both sides, really. Coming in at number 5, Tom Cruise. It was the couch jump that truly rocked Hollywood and a side of the action hero Tom Cruise that we had never witnessed before. In short, it was a meltdown over passion for his newest love interest, Katie Holmes. At the time, Tom Cruise was one of the biggest celebrities in America, and he was already an established leading man with roles such as Top Gun and Jerry Maguire under his belt. He was appearing on the Oprah Winfrey Show to promote his upcoming movie, which was Steven Spielberg's remake of War of the Worlds. However, instead of staying on script for his promo material, he could not stop gushing over his new girlfriend. Within 15 minutes of the interview, Tom had leapt onto Oprah's couch as Oprah struggled struggled to find the words for his over-the-top infatuation. In the moment, it was this very heartwarming thing to see, but in hindsight, people watching that clip only see Tom acting out of school for an interview. So by all accounts, and without hearing the audience's reaction, this was categorized as one of Tom's biggest TV meltdowns. Coming in at number 4, Ashlee Simpson. That video of Ashlee Simpson on Saturday Night Live just messing up her performance still gives me secondhand embarrassment. In the video, you can see all of this confusion when she realizes that the track started playing before she even had the microphone up to her face. So she just starts like awkwardly dancing instead. Hey, maybe that's where the Fortnite Take the L dance came from. At that point, you can't even really salvage the performance. I mean, it's called Saturday Night Live for a reason. So she did her little dance, said that she was sorry, blamed it on her band for some reason for playing the wrong song, and then it was all quick cut to commercial from there. During an interview several years later, she was asked about this incident, and here's what Ashlee had to say.
What happened there was I had a vocal problem. I had 2 nodes beating against each other, and I woke up and I had no voice. And then I should have said, no, I will not go on, I will not do this. And
coming in at number 3, Sinead O'Connor. In 1992, Sinead O'Connor was invited to be the musical guest on Saturday Night Live. Had she just stuck to her usual routine, this performance could have ended much differently. However, instead of doing that, she decided to go down a very weird downward spiral that was all captured on live television. Nearing the end of her performance, O'Connor pulls out a photo of Pope John Paul II and slowly begins to rip the picture in half. She did this while saying, "Fight the real enemy." Shortly thereafter, she was banned from ever appearing on the show again, probably because when they were doing rehearsals, this little number was not included. You can't surprise people like that, especially Lorne Michaels. That's it, you're out of here, kid. That's my Lorne Michaels impression. Coming in at number 2, Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen is the polar opposite of what you should do when pursuing a career in Hollywood. He carries with him a terrible offset and on-set reputation, and the debacle that he went through in 2011 even led to his contract termination from the show 2.5 Men. For a while, he was all over the news for everything from substance abuse, domestic violence, and even when he revealed that he was HIV positive. With his history of flying off at the drop of a hat and trying to get people fired who speak ill of him, Sheen had a very difficult time trying to rebuild his career. Although it's hard to put a pin on one interview in particular that really ended Sheen's career, there are certainly a bevy of bizarre ones to choose from. Perhaps the worst was when he was on the Today Show for a very candid conversation.
People that aren't special, people that don't have tiger blood and, Adonis DNA.
Strong people have relapsed. Strong people have started using again. How do you avoid that?
Fools.
Last but certainly not least, our number 1 spot, Billy Bob Thornton. As great as a career that old Billy Bob has had as an actor, he is also in a band called the Boxmasters. Although oddly enough, whenever he does interviews now, he insists that they only talk about the band and never even bring up his acting career. I mean, how could you do that? It's really weird considering how prolific this guy was as an actor. You'd think if the interviewer was a fan of his, it would be really disappointing to get this demand before starting your conversation with him. Hey, you know that thing you really love about me? Yeah, don't talk about that. Not at all. I don't want to hear your questions. The biggest blow up that was viewed as one of his most awkward interviews was when he and his band were on a show called Q for CBC in Canada. The interviewer tried his best to talk to Billy, but he always answered in a confusing way, which left the band feeling even more awkward to answer the questions for him. I mean, take a look.
I wasn't instructed to. I'm not really instructed. You guys are here as a band. You're performing, but
the producer was instructed.
Right,
so, but somewhere along the way.
I actually can't believe that he just told the interviewer how he was instructed not to call his music career a hobby. No wonder this guy has had like 5 different marriages. God, get it together, Billy Bob Thornton. The 2021 MTV VMAs kicked off in New York City with the one and only Queen of Pop, Madonna. Madonna paid respects to MTV and New York City for being part of her culture-shifting history, although she also dropped the F-bomb on live TV. Lots went down to the VMAs, from Justin Bieber taking home 2 awards to Conor McGregor getting into a bit of a scuffle with Machine Gun Kelly on the red carpet, but before any of that took place, we had the legend herself paying homage to MTV. In her opening monologue, Madonna said, "Around 40 years ago, I came to New York City with nothing but $35 and a pair of dance shoes. 40 years ago, another underdog arrived in New York City hoping to create something revolutionary. An all-music channel premiered in the middle of the night and called itself MTV. We found each other and formed a bond that changed my life, changed music, and created a whole new art form. That's why there's only one place to be tonight." And just like she said, Madonna followed up this video segment with an actual in-person appearance. As she started out onto the stage at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, Madonna declared, "They said we wouldn't last, but we're still here, mother effers, happy 40th MTV." Madonna also caused a stir online after she walked off off, putting her posterior on full display. Some called her a legend for that, while others expressed their discomfort. This isn't Madonna's first time causing some controversy though at the VMAs. At the 1984 inaugural VMAs, she performed her song Like a Virgin, which catapulted her into the spotlight of headline-grabbing stardom. Plus, there was also her infamous kiss with Britney Spears at the 2003 VMAs. Over her career in entertainment and ties with the MTV VMAs, Madonna has racked up 20 of their awards. Starting in 1986, where she received the Video Vanguard Award, Madonna has also won the Viewer's Choice Award in 1989, and a decade later she received the Video of the Year Award for her 1999 single called Ray of Light. Recently, on her 63rd birthday, Madonna also announced that she would be returning to Warner Music Group with plans of reissuing her entire catalog of music. WMG said in a statement, Madonna will personally curate expansive deluxe editions for many of her landmark albums, adding that the singer will also introduce unique releases for special events and much more. This has been planned to kick off in 2022 for the 40th anniversary of the singer's debut in 1982.